U.S. Commission on Religious Freedom accuses Tinubu government, state governors of tolerating attacks on Nigerian Christians. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom (USCIRF) has recently criticized the Nigerian federal and state governments for allegedly tolerating or inadequately responding to violent attacks against religious communities, particularly Christians. In its latest report, USCIRF highlights that various militant groups, including Islamist extremists and Fulani militants, have targeted the religious communities across Nigeria with devastating consequences. USCIRF's 2025 annual report recommends that the U.S. Department of State designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern (CPC) due to ongoing, systematic and egregious violations of religious freedom. Such a designation could lead to diplomatic and economic consequences, including sanctions and restrictions on U.S. foreign aid. The report also notes that the Nigerian government continues to enforce blasphemy laws, which can result in imprisonment for individuals perceived to have insulted religion. This includes cases involving Christians, Muslims, and humanists. USCIRF emphasizes that the Nigerian government's failure to prosecute perpetrators of religious violence contributes to a culture of impunity, fueling further attacks and deepening sectarian tensions. In response to these concerns, USCIRF urges the U.S. government to take decisive action to address religious freedom violations in Nigeria and to support efforts aimed at protecting vulnerable religious communities. FG pays Govt members 77,000 naira monthly allowance. The federal government has officially begun disbursing the 77,000 naira monthly allowance to members of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC). Initially, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's announcement of the pay increase brought excitement among Corps members nationwide. However, delays in implementing the new allowance led to disappointment. For nearly 6 months after the announcement in September 2024, Corps members continued receiving the previous 3,000 naira allowance introduced in 2020 under former President Muhammadu Buhari. Confirming the payment to Tribune Online, a Corps member in Kwara State identified as Adepoju stated that the scheme had started disbursing the new amount. He described the increase as long overdue and speculated that payments were likely being processed in batches, as some Corps members had received theirs while others were still waiting. Meanwhile, Nigerians on social media have reacted to the development, which follows assurances from the Minister of Youth that the federal government will clear the backlog of the 77,000 naira allowance. A Twitter user, @Daniel10, celebrated the update, writing, "NYSC is finally paying 77k to Corps members. If you have this girl's DM, go say a big thank you. I bet the government wouldn't have listened to you if not for her." Another user, @Filmlex2, noted the silence on social media compared to when the allowance was delayed, tweeting, "NYSC don't pay copper 77k now, see as everywhere is just quiet." 2027, I don't know if I will run, says Atiku. Former Nigerian Vice President Atiku Abubakar has stated that he is uncertain about running for president in 2027 general elections. Atiku was the People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidate in the 2019 and 2023 presidential elections, made this remark while discussing Nigeria's political future and direction of the opposition. Although he has been a key figure in Nigerian politics for decades, Atiku mentioned that his decision will depend on various factors including party strategy, political alliances, and the state of the nation. His statement comes amid ongoing discussion about opposition unity, particularly the possibility of forming a coalition against the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) in the next election. FG to halt solar panel imports, boost local production for clean energy transition. The federal government of Nigeria has announced plans to halt the importation of solar panels to promote local manufacturing and accelerate the nation's transition to clean energy. This initiative aligns with Presidential Executive Order No. 5, which emphasizes local content in science, engineering, and technology. Minister of Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, highlighted that Nigeria is making significant investments in renewable energy infrastructure and possesses the capacity to meet its solar energy needs domestically. He cited the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure (NASENI) and private manufacturers as pivotal players in local solar panel production. The minister projected that as local production expands, more Nigerians' homes and institutions will transition to off-grid power solutions, reducing reliance on the national grid. In response to this policy direction, indigenous solar energy companies are advocating for supportive measures. LPV Technologies, for instance, has called for the removal of import duties on components essential for solar panel manufacturing, arguing that such a move will bolster local production and ensure competitiveness against imported panels. While this policy aims to foster local industry and create jobs, there are concerns about potential short-term impacts, such as increased prices of solar panels due to the nascent state of local manufacturing. Stakeholders emphasize the need for strategic investments and policies to build a robust domestic solar industry capable of meeting national demand. Bill to strip VP Governors of Immunity passing second reading. On March 26, 2025, the Nigerian House of Representatives passed a bill for second reading that seeks to remove the constitutional immunity currently granted to the Vice President, state governors, and their deputies. These proposed amendments aim to curb corruption, eradicate impunity, and enhance accountability in public office. The bill was among 42 constitutional amendment proposals considered by the House on that day, following 39 similar bills passed the previous day, bringing the total to 81. Other notable proposals included bills to separate the offices of the Attorney General of the Federation and State Attorneys General from the Minister of Justice and State Commissioners for Justice, respectively, grant citizenship rights to foreign spouses of Nigerian women, and create new states such as Ijebu, Ife-Ijesa, Tiga, Olu, and Etiti. The sponsor of the immunity bill, Solomon Bob, a People's Democratic Party (PDP) lawmaker from Rivers State, stated that the bill seeks to promote accountability in public office by removing the immunity currently enjoyed by the Vice President, governors, and their deputies. Section 308 of the Nigerian Constitution currently provides immunity to the President, Vice President, governors, and their deputies, shielding them from civil and criminal prosecution while in office. If this amendment is enacted, it will subject the Vice President, governors, and their deputies to prosecution during their tenure. This legislative move has sparked discussions about the scope of immunity for public officials. Former federal lawmaker Shehu Sani commented that while removing immunity could ensure that no one is above the law, it might also expose certain officials to potential witch hunts. He suggested that if the Vice President and governors are to lose their immunity, the President should also be included to maintain fairness. It is important to note that this bill is still in the legislative process and will require further readings, approvals, potential alterations before becoming law. Irish youth in Yobe State attack policeman from southern Nigeria, kill 2 sons, burn properties. On March 17, 2025, in Buniyadi, Gujiba local government area of Yobe State, armed youths attacked the residence of a policeman originating from southern Nigeria. The assailants, reportedly supported by some of the policeman's colleagues, invaded his home around 2 a.m., resulting in the tragic deaths of his 2 sons, aged 20 and 13. The attackers also set the house ablaze, destroying his properties. The motive behind the attack appears to be allegations against the policeman of being excessively harsh on local residents arrested for criminal activities, possibly due to his southern origin. A security source noted that the policeman was accused of being from the southern part of the country and was told he should go and fight crime in his domain. This incident highlights ongoing ethnic tensions and challenges within Nigerian security forces, particularly concerning the treatment of officers from different regions. Ensuring justice and accountability in such cases is crucial to maintain trust and cohesion within the nation's security apparatus. Follow for more. March 26, 2025.